Let's do this. All right. Turn off the recording. Obviously, don't need to do that. We're gonna go to YouTube dashboard now. Cool. Actually, I can just go here. Let me go ahead and close um, some of these tabs. Do not need them all. All right. Go out here. Stream 15. We need to add it to some playlists. All right. Stream archive, Skeletower, bam. Change this, on, bam, save, share, copy the video link. At Notification Squad. I'm going to call it, because we're going to be working on hazards tonight, I'm going to call this stream in the Discord for all the cool people in the Notification Squad. I'm going to call it Spoik. Not like Spike, like Spoik, like S-P-O-I-K-E. Why? Because I can. Haha, get pranked. Alright, there we go. There we go. Let's get right into this. So hello everyone and welcome to Skeletower. Last time we left off, we got the outlines working. We updated the entire rendering engine. So now we have these outlines showing which player is player 1, which player is player 2, and it's so cool and whatnot. Let's go. It's so epic. One slight issue is that the heart does not have this outline, I'm pretty sure. Actually, it might. Now that I think about it, it actually probably does. Like, if I go ahead and do that, does the heart have the outline? I'm pretty sure it actually does. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't. Oh, but that's an issue in its own right because... Okay, so I think I see a problem that we're already going to have to start with. Essentially, I'm going to have to make the heart and give it its own renderer. But that's fine. That's not a problem. Now, if I do select this, its layer is default because it gets set through code. If I go to Assets, Open C# Project, there we go. We can actually see it. So here I go ahead and in Start, I set your current layer to either 8 or 9. And this includes the heart. Wait, what? If I'm setting the heart's layer to 8 or 9, then it should be getting the thing. It should be getting the layer. So I'm not actually sure why. Oh, wait. No, that doesn't make sense. Wait, is that it? Oh, this is the heart. And it uses the lit material right now. The layer is default. Let's first see if it's actually rendering here. Of course, I can't actually move it because it's rigged. See, if we move around, it still is here, but it doesn't have a custom shader. It is a part of player 1 though, so it should actually have this model. If I go ahead and turn off the skull, yeah, that actually disappears. So can we see the outline around it? The first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to make a specialized renderer for the heart, which honestly isn't that bad. If we go ahead and remove all this stuff, you can see that the heart has its own sort of thing. I can actually just select all this stuff. Alright, just go ahead and select all. Okay, I guess it just doesn't like to select all that. Just select all this stuff. Turn that off. And yeah, you can see that the ball has, or the heart has its own outline, which is good. Actually, do I need to do that? Not really, but I do want it to appear over that. But I don't need to give it a specialized outline, I don't think. So that's actually one step that I don't have to do. So something I just need to do is I need to basically render the heart on top of it, which essentially just means I need to make a layer called heart, which will essentially render hearts over whatever the last layer is, which is fine. Also, one thing I want to test, I didn't get to test this before I ended the stream last time, is I want to see what happens if I go through a wall. What gets rendered first, the wall or the object? I'm assuming the wall. So yeah, here we have the heart, and of course you have all these objects. And yeah, like the objects are inside of inside of a wall, and this is not being rendered over it, which is fine. Honestly, I'm fine with the normal bones not rendering over it. I'm not sure. Yo, welcome to the stream, Shellis to Shellis. Glad you can make it. Thank you for joining us. Also, Cascade EDM. Glad you can make it. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Skeletower. I haven't seen you around in chat, so I'll quickly show you what I did last time, which was make the outlines for the skeletons. So now you can actually see who's who. The game is going to be a 2-player platformer where you can control 2 separate skeletons and merge and separate them at will to do really cool platforming stuff. Like one platforming challenge I'm going to have is like this, where you have to actually like fire a skeleton. You have to jump off a ledge and then fire the skeleton into a gap. Bam, and there you go. And then you can wall jump up. Cool stuff like that that you've never seen in any other platformer before. That's what we're doing here. You can wall jump. You can go ahead and dash out. You can also, if you're close to a wall and you dash into the wall, you'll actually ricochet out and hit the wall, ricochet back, and then you'll go ahead and get extra force to basically be able to launch yourself. So yeah, today what I'm going to be working on is the hazards, because right now they look like this. You break apart like normal, but the heart's always moving, and that's not intentional. Believe me, this game is going to have plenty of unique ideas. I've already have some level ideas, and hopefully tonight, or maybe not tonight, but soon, that's going to be something I'm going to be working on, is the first actual levels. Obviously, this is just a debug room just to show, hey, look, you can do stuff. One thing that I haven't tested in a while, though, and I just want to make sure this actually still works, is this. Quickly, I'm going to try this. If I go ahead and click on a player, do I have to manually set gravity? Yes, I do. Dang. That's fine, though. Let me make sure gravity still works well. So I go ahead and rotate this on VZ. So that still works as intended. And yeah, okay, so gravity still works as I thought. So yeah, this is going to be one of the main gimmicks that's going to happen later in the game. Somehow I got caught on the seam. So with multi-gravity, you can do cool stuff. Like, if I wanted to make it to that ledge on the left here, I could go ahead and jump with one player and then release them from gravity. That did not work very well. There we go. So then I can go ahead and shoot him up to make it up. It feels like it's a little bit broken. Something's a little bit up. I'm not sure exactly why I'm getting stuck on ledges. It's like my speed isn't... Like, I have good speed here. But then if I go over here... it's about the same, actually. But I'm getting stuck on ledges, and I don't know why. Probably because I'm not using real gravity, and real gravity actually pulls you. Or something. Still, that doesn't make really a lot of sense. Huh, that's a weird thing I'm going to have to fix when I actually make more gravity stuff. Oh my gosh, Super Mario Odyssey skeleton costume reference? No way, I'm dead. Anyway, I'm not making gravity changes right now. Right now, our first goal is to make um, a heart material or something. Or I guess not really a heart material, I just want to make it so the heart is rendered last. The way we can do that is by making a heart layer. If I go ahead and select actually I just need to select an object right now. Go to layer, add layer. And under player 2, we're going to make a heart layer. There we go. And now what I can do is back in player, I can go ahead and select of a renderer. Where's my renderer? Here it is. This is so cool. And after this, well, first things first, I have to actually go here in my code. And if it's heart, then what I need to do is I need to say curGame object dot layer equals oh, I guess that is a problem. Each heart's going to have a unique render layer. So I actually do have to make it. So I actually do need 2 separate layers for this thing. That's fine. Just means I need 2 separate layers. So I'm going to say heart 1, then heart 2. And those are layers 10 and 11. It's not really a big deal, I just have to do it. So heart layer or game object layer is equals is player 1, and I can make it so if it's a ternary. So if this is player 1, we're going to use level 10 or layer 10, and if not, it's going to be layer 11. And just like that, now we can go here, and our heart will be set to a different render layer. So now what we need to do is we need to go to our renderer. So player, outline renderer. Under rendered objects, we need to say no. What is it missing? No, I need to go here, mixed. And it's already taken off, so that's good. Did I? Okay, yeah, that doesn't change it. Okay. So now what we can do is we can say, so this is doing player 2 stuff. Really, we should be doing this first. I should not close this. So what we need to do is we need to take this, which is rendering the objects. This is rendering the shader. We can actually move this up. Please. Oh, I might have to like click here, move up. Yeah. There we go. And the reason we're doing this is, so basically we're going to render the outline first, then we go ahead and render the physical stuff, and then I want to render the heart. I don't want to render an outline on top of a heart. Maybe I do, but we can decide that later. Most likely I'm not, though. So for this, we're going to render objects. This is the outline. And we're actually going to need to do this not only with player 1, we're also going to need to do this with heart 1 as well. Same thing with this. Instead of just player 2, we're also going to use player 2 and heart 2. And this is why we needed 2 separate layers for it. So that way the heart can render with this right outline as well. Also, welcome to the stream, Travis Evil Man. Glad you can make it. Thank you for joining us. Also, I'm not sure if I said hello to you, or Rough Runes Games. Glad you can make it. Thank you for joining us. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make a render objects here. And this is just going to render... Wait. Actually, no. Remove. What I just have to do is I can just render both player 1 and player 2 right here. Because I'm not actually using their materials, I don't care. And for this, now I can render Heart 1 and Heart 2. And I just want to make sure this is after, so after rendering transparents. Now it's a little bit later. So now, if we go ahead and render it, when we hit play, you should always be able to see the heart. And that's what I want. I want the heart to be visible. That way, when it actually breaks out of your ribcage, when you're actually like, I guess it's not really a breaking out of your ribcage because I don't really have an animation. It just turns procedural. But I just want this to always be visible. And it does not look like that's what's happening. Probably because it's after transparent, not after opaque. So all I really need to do, I think, to fix this is just change the after rendering this. I'm just going to change this to after rendering opaques. There we go. We might also need to do after post-processing, but I don't think so. Now we can't see it at all. I'm guessing the reason we can't see it is because it is being overshadowed. So I'm going to set this to after rendering post-processing. Maybe that'll fix it. The level seems really big. I mean, it's not that big. So changing it to after post-processing does not seem like it helped. That just makes it look weird. I might be able to change its rendering queue. That might be what I need to do. So I think I'm going to do after rendering opaques. Or after rendering transparents, just like the other one. Q. I wonder if setting this as transparent will do it. Probably not actually. I'm guessing I need to actually make this a separate pass. And that's my problem. I feel like I changed it. What do I... Oh yeah, I changed it to this. Do you have any ideas on the thing? I want to make my first tower. I don't have any ideas on basic towers. The only thing I can really think of is like a crossbow, but I feel like that might be a little bit too basic, or it might riff off of, you know, like the Dart Monkey from BTD. A little too much. I mean, if you're making all of the enemies like elements, I don't know. Also, that's strange. Why is it taking me extra time to land? You saw that, right? The player 2 should not have a hitbox currently. If I go to player 1, box collider is off. Player model obviously doesn't have anything. And all of these things. Wait a second. I think I know what it might be. Yeah, if I look at these, no, their layer is particle. Their children are, that's the thing that's actually being rendered, so yeah, that makes sense. But because it's particle, it should not be interacting with... Oh, it's because now I've changed the layering. So now I actually need to go to project settings and go to physics 2D. And now we have this huge layer collisions matrix. Here it is. See, I have it so particle doesn't interact with default, but it also shouldn't be interacting with anything else. So like player 1, player 2, heart 1, or heart 2. So we go ahead and look at particle right here. It should not be interacting with any of these. There we go. That's the reason. So yeah, now you can see that the particles do not affect the other player. I just clip right through it, which is as you would expect. Alright, so now it's time to fix this problem of when you go ahead and explode through a wall, the heart should always be visible. Actually, I guess it's fine right now. I prefer it to be visible through the wall, though. But I think I have to add a separate rendering pass for that, and I'll be honest, I don't really want to do that. Alright, so what's next anyway? I think the next thing I want to do is I want to make the hazard actually work. I want to make the spike, like I said in the title. So let's go to hazards. We're going to create a C# script. And we're going to call this hazard info. There we go. And the hazard info is going to have a couple of pieces of information. Well, really, it's going to only have one. It's going to have a static array of all the different times that the different hazards will have, because there's going to be different hazards. Like, obviously, this is a spike right here. Can't you see that it's clearly a spike? In all seriousness, though, the spike is going to impale your heart, and that's going to stun it for maybe, I don't know, an extra second or two. I'm not going to make it a long-ass, you know, oh, you can't use a second player for 20 seconds, because that's just lame. The point of a def is to make it so you have to start the section over, not that you have to wait 30 seconds. Granted, those 30 seconds might cause you to lose, which could be important, but I don't think that's the right way to go about it, to make you wait so long. So the def should be, it should be a punishing. It should cause you to maybe lose the entire attempt, but it should not be a, you know, million-year-long wait. As such, what I think I'm going to do, but obviously other hazards might be longer. Like with a fire hazard I'm going to make, it's going to literally burn your heart to a crisp. And then your heart is going to be like a phoenix and re-emerge from the ashes. With electricity, it's going to be similar, but maybe you have like... That could actually be really funny, actually. I just thought of a really funny joke. So you know how in like most like Mario games, when you get shocked, you see the skeleton inside of you? What if when you get shocked in this game, obviously you're already a skeleton, but what if your heart goes ahead and flickers and you see a bone inside of a heart? It's just like if I open up Paint, I want to show off this idea. I think it's hilarious. You just have your half a heart, and you know you have your half a heart here, bam. And I guess obviously if it's a full heart, it could be different, because if you're, you know, a part of a skeleton, then you won't even see the animation probably. It's just going to be an explosion. Maybe you will. I don't know. But yeah, you just, when you get shocked, it just, you know, completely... If I increase my brush strength, can I increase my brush strength? Please, please, please. I would like to. Ah, here it is. So, you know, it just goes dark, like it's being burned from the inside. And then inside of it, you just see a little bone. You just see a little bone inside of it. I think that'd be hilarious. Also, I know there's a bucket tool. I guess I can do that to show off what I mean a little bit better. So, you know, the heart goes completely dark, the half of a heart that you have, and then you actually get, and then you just see like a little bone inside of it. Yo, welcome to the stream, November Joy. Glad you can make it. Thank you for joining us. Right now, I was just talking about one of my ideas for one of the hazards. So obviously, when you get hit with a spike, it's going to be like, oh, look, it's a spike. You have a spike and you got stabbed. Oh, no. Why am I doing this? I have a bucket tool. Stop being stupid, me. But yeah, you have your spike, and you'll go ahead and you'll just have your heart be impaled on it. You know, it's literally just, eh. I guess it's more like this. It's kind of weird to make this because, oh, I guess I can make it like this. No, that doesn't work. That just looks like a bean. If I'm trying to have it like drooped over, whatever, I'll just draw like this. So you have your heart literally impaled on it. It just does not look like a heart. There we go. So yeah, you get your heart impaled, as you do. And, you know, maybe some drops of blood are dripping or something. I don't know. I might not do that. Remember, this is going to be a very fast animation. So your heart goes down, it gets impaled, and then after it goes down on a spike, it just, like, wriggles itself back out, and then it starts flying towards your player. If your heart gets burned, it's obviously just going to, like, crumble apart and then turn into ashes and then all that fun stuff. And obviously, with the way I'm going to do it is it's going to make it so you can add more hazards in the future. But for now, we'll just start with the spike. So yeah, first thing we're going to do is we're going to add here a hazard info. And I did give it a tag hazard, so that's good. So here in hazard info, we're going to start by making a public enum hazard type. And this is just going to be whatever hazard type it is. So we're going to have spike. We're going to have, is it comma or is it colon? I think it's comma. Also, I'm pretty sure I use all caps for enums. So we have spike. We're going to have fire. And we're going to have electricity. And obviously we can add more. Maybe I'll add like a poison one or something. Or a being crushed thing. That might actually be kind of funny. You just see like, it's just like a flat heart. And then just like, I guess the best way to put it is like Mario World animation Mama Luigi. That part where Luigi gets flattened. And then Mario rolls him up and makes the legendary character roll Luigi. Anyway, after that, you use a pea balloon to get back to normal. So I could make an animation like that where it just pops back to normal and then starts flying again. Also, one thing that I'm going to be doing is kind of making it look like a teardrop. I kind of want to show this. My main idea for the heart. So obviously, normally, you're going to have the heart like this, where it's going to be inside your rib cage or whatever. That is a very not good heart. Ugh, why am I so bad? Whatever. This isn't an art class. This is good enough. So normally it's going to be inside your body like half a heart, like you'd expect. However, after you break apart, I'm going to use blend shapes to turn this into a teardrop shape. That way, if I can actually show it. So you're going to have this teardrop shape. And that way, I can actually angle it to be towards your other player. So you have your other player here. Great eye. Whatever, that's good enough. So you have your other player here. So then this heart will actually rotate in a way so that way it actually angles itself. That does not look very good. And I know I'm going to delete this immediately after I make this, but I just want to be able to show what I mean. Then again, I think it's pretty obvious. So you have it sort of stretch out as it flies towards the rib cage of the other player. So I think that'll work. Now, one thing to think about is what happens when the hearts are merged. Oh, wait, never mind. I don't have to think about that. I was about to say, oh, which outline should it use? No, it doesn't matter. It's going to use the outline of the original skeleton. Oh, but what happens with the other heart? It has its outline, which could conflict with that. No, it's not. I'm going to turn off the other heart, and I'm just going to make a separate heart model that uses both. Never mind. This is a lot simpler than I was thinking. All right, anyway. So hazard type is spike, fire, electricity. Now we're going to have a public static dictionary. And this is going to be of type hazard type. And it's going to be to type float. So it's going to be hazard def timers. Time equals new dictionary. And I should be able to make it, can I make it so it compiles it? Let's see. This could actually be really interesting. I might not have to put it in like start or something. Obviously, there will be instances of hazards, but I don't want to make it so it tries it every time. All right, dictionary. Instantiate with values. It's a new dictionary. And then add stuff. That goes from int to student name. So yeah, that's just an ID to a new student name. Wait, no. Hold up. New dictionary. Int, and then it makes that, and then it just opens a bracket. So you have, this actually works. I was not expecting that. So I guess we just have to make elements. So we do something like this, which is a, we can say spike. And then this is going to go to 10, let's say. So this should work, actually. I know it's lying to me right now, but it should work. Maybe I need this. Put it on a separate line. Oh, wait. The problem is it's okay. The problem is that that's at That's at compile time, and the example that I was looking at was at runtime. That's my problem. What I was looking at for an example was in an actual, like, in the start method. There you can actually do it. You could say something like, oh yeah, hazard type, etc., etc. Now, as for actually making something like this, I don't think you can do it. Maybe you can, I don't know. Let me try this again, actually. I didn't say hazard type spike, I said just spike. That's spike, comma, 10F. Oh, no, you can do it. It's just that I didn't have the hazard spike here, or the hazard type here. Okay. That's actually pretty cool. Quite neat indeed. So yeah, we can just make this, we can just add these definitions here. Obviously, we're not going to make the def timer for this 10. We're just going to make that 1 for now. Then we're going to say hazard type dot fire. We'll make this 2F. Obviously, this can be changed. All of this is left up to debate. Is there going to be a name for the skeleton characters, or just some skeletons with no names? There's definitely going to be names. I just haven't thought of the names for the like. I thought of 2 of the characters' names so far. I'm not very good at names, but I'm pretty good. I'm confident with the ones that I've come up with. I just haven't thought of the ones for the main characters though. So far, I have Jimmy the tax collecting ghost. He was killed for being a tax collector because he collects taxes, and the main antagonist does not like that. And the other one is Kimmy, which is his nickname. Official name is Kim, and it's going to be one of the mini bosses, a knight. So Sir Kim. It's going to be basically a chicken in a suit of armor that uses a flail or some other like funny knight weapon. But yeah, I haven't thought of a good name for the main character yet. Nor have I thought of a really good name for the antagonist. Why is it giving me hazard type? This is a dictionary. Why is it adding the same hazard? Hazard type dot electricity. Why would it not go to the next one? What am I going to add this for? I'll say this 2.5F. Why not? I'm surprised I can do this, though. I thought I would have to make this at runtime. But you know, if I don't have to, that's actually really nice. I can actually, I can make this read-only. Public static read-only. That's even nicer. Now I just have this nice list of values. Oh, I like this. I know it's really weird to say I like this when it's just, you know, a table essentially. But like the fact that it's not at runtime means I could just change this and it's static. You don't have to worry about it anywhere else. Granted, it might be nice to change this in like the inspector, but then you have to change it for every instance, and I don't have to do that now. I just can say, yeah, it's this. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say a private, I'm going to make a private, not enum, private hazard type. Yeah, M type works. I'm just going to call it type though. I don't need M type. Oh, wait, but it's... no, I'm going to call it hazard type. And the reason I'm going to call it hazard type is because it's already type in Unity. And using type would get it confused with Unity type. And Unity's type is like, oh, is it a hazard info? Is it a tween? Is it a game object? Whereas this hazard type is supposed to be for which enum it is. Like, is it a spike, fire, or electricity? So that's what I'm going to call it hazard type instead. So we're going to have hazard type, hazard type. This should actually be serializable. Can I add get here? Can I just say get? No. I know you can do something like this. I'm going to get ChatGPT to do it for me because I don't know the actual lingo. But I know that you can make it so you can just have it make a getter here. And C#. Create a variable with a getter. Make it in one line, i.e. private foobar private sure, I'll make it a string foobar get. Okay, so I was close in my idea. So you do put curly braces, but then you say get. And then you put a semicolon here. There we go. So that just implicitly gives you a getter, which is pretty nice, gotta say. So now what I need to do is nothing really. That's about it. That's all this class does. However, now when I apply it, I can just give you a hazard type. Also, I can make this read-only as well. The modifier read-only is not valid for this term. Alright, never mind then. Whatever. I guess because it's serializable or something. I don't know. It's fine. So now this has a hazard info. Completing domain. Alright, you good? Cool, there we go. So here we have hazard info. It is not giving me my serialized field. I thought serialized field would, serialize the field, but okay. Private hazard type dot get. I do not see why this is not here. Like, by all accounts, this should have the thing. Can I reload this? Reset. Remove component. Try dragging a new one on. Hazard info, script. Yeah, why is this like this? I don't know. Private, hazard type, hazard type. Get. I should be able to set this, you know? You know, whatever, I'm just gonna make a getter. This might actually not work because I think this might be a private getter. Is it? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe this is messing it up, though. There's a good chance of that. So also make a public. No, not void. This returns a hazard type. Hazard type. Actually, no, this is going to be a time. Public time or float. Kill time. Get kill time. This is going to be return. Hazard def time. I kind of want to make this static actually, but I have to have this. Public float, whatever, I'll just leave it like this. The problem is, what happens if you say get kill time on an object that doesn't have one of these? So I am going to make a static. So public, static, get kill time. Actually, no, I don't. I actually don't need this. You should always have one of these hazard types on it. Or you'll have to pass something in anyway. Yeah, and if it was static, you can use it anyway. Yeah, this is fine. Return. Also, this should be lowercase. Hazard def time. Hazard type. Dot get or try get. Get value or default. There we go. And I guess I do need to have a get, or just so that way I can see what animation I need to do. Public, float. And I guess I really don't even need this. Yeah, I really don't need it. Public, hazard type. Get hazard type. And yep, that's what it is. Do not like that formatting. You got an idea? The tower's gonna be based off the battle cats? We're gonna do special things to the elements? Maybe. That can be interesting. Well, now we have hazard type. Great. Hazard type. Spike, fire, electricity. Great. Just what I needed. So now I just have to say whenever a hazard whenever you touch a hazard, do the right thing. So now what I need to do is in player controller, whenever I hit a spike, I guess it would probably be an fixed update. Fixed update. If current direction is this, else collisions, new collider 16, attack filter, use triggers, overlap collider, contact filter, player collisions, collided, or each collider if collision is null, break, else. A skunk-based tower that's poison type. Yeah, that could be interesting. I mean, a lot of games have poisons types. I don't know if I've really seen that many in tower defense games, though. I think it's a game called like Infinite Blade or something. There's a tower called Venom that shoots slow projectiles every once in a while that will inflict poison, and that poison just eats through health. Then again, in other games, you have poison constantly being something like, oh, it does constant damage to you for a few turns and then wears off. So you could easily implement something like that. Alright, so player respawn. Now, here we go. So where's player respawn? Let's go down here. Hold on. Does this call player respawn as well? It does. So something I'm actually going to do is I'm going to slightly change this. I'm going to make this actually respawn time. So all of this stuff that uses respawn time, I'm actually going to change to respawn time SD. And the reason I'm going to change it to SD is because, first of all, it's already using that for the SD. But now I can make it separate for the other thing. So this is going to be respawn time. Wait a second, this is actually not working exactly how I want it to. Alright, player respawn should actually be called slightly later. What I want is respawn time, the respawn time that you pass in here. I want that to actually determine how long it takes for the heart to fly back. Or actually the opposite. I want it to determine how long the heart waits before it starts flying back to the player. To be fair, everything basically exists nowadays, Travis Evelyn. Skunky. Honestly, great name. But yeah, unfortunately, I do not like player respawn being a method here. Because part of this is, you know, setting the stuff so it starts flying back. Part of it is the actual explosion. So some parts should actually remain the way they are, and some parts shouldn't. So let's try to break this into two parts. Player die. We're going to call it private void player die. And we're going to put in a float time till respawn. So here we can actually move a bunch of this stuff. So we should be able to remove respawn time because that should remain consistent. So we'll change this back to SD actually. We make this SD, make this SD. Wait to execute heart merge, wait to execute pull bones. Tween position. So first of all, if time till respawn is less than or equal to 0, just saying originally, you know, then we're going to immediately call player respawn. Unfortunately, I think we're going to need to put this in here in end wait. So we're going to need to say case and I guess we'll just call it player respawn. Break. And yeah, here we just throw in all of this stuff, basically. Then in here, now obviously there will be some problems because obviously. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say end wait. And then we're going to pass in player respawn. Wrong key. Needs to be like that. You know what, after I fix these two bugs, I'm going to quickly do this. So I've changed this to player die. This is respawn time normal. This actually needs to be replaced, but we'll leave it as respawn time normal for now. Then this is respawn time SD. This is going to be instantaneous, so we're going to set this to 0. Player die. There we go. So yeah. So yeah, first thing I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change this into an enum. It's unfortunate, but it really needs to be an enum. In order to do that, we need access to waitable. So we're going to make a public enum. And we're going to call this wait events. There we go. Now, if I implement this, does this mean that the player controller also has to implement an enum? I don't think that's how it would work. I think it still makes sense like this. So now what we need to do is for, oh yeah, also in waitable, we need to change this from string key to wait event. Is wait event the right word? I don't know. You're gonna give them clothes? I mean, they're animals. I mean, if you're gonna orient it towards kids, then it might be smart. So we're gonna make a wait event called yeah, I'll just call it wait event. All right, cool. Now this should actually break the player controller. It did not, but if we go back here, yeah. Cannot convert from string to wait event. Now, obviously, this means that the key here needs to not be a key or a string. It needs to be a wait event. So waitable dot wait event. There we go. Now this causes a secondary problem where now key equals key, where all we have to do is we have to change this from being a string key to being a wait event. Cool. Unfortunately, this also causes a problem because now if we go back to player controller, oh wow, we have 9 errors. I wonder what could have caused that. Also, end wait needs to be wait event, waitable dot wait event key. Well, hello there. Welcome to the stream, Shag. Glad you can make it. Thank you for joining us. Also, that's a lot of errors, but it makes sense why. So what we need to do now is we need to change all of these cases into wait events. And the reason I'm doing this is it'll just mean that I don't have to remember a whole bunch of strings. I can just say, oh, I'm waiting till I respawn. Use wait event respawn. So this will make it cleaner code in the future. That's why I'm doing this. So if we go down here, first of all, we're going to go ahead and start making these. So we have player respawn first. Let's go ahead and make that one. So in waitable, we're going to make player underscore respawn. Now, because these are enums, I'm going to do it like this. You don't have to, but I'm going to because I can. We have pull bones underscore bones. Also, if I want to rename something, I can just rename. I don't have to rename this. Like every instance of a string, I can just rename the wait event, and Visual Studios will rename it for me. Pull bones end. Underscore end. So now we can go to. Also, welcome to the stream. Oh wait, no, I did say welcome to the stream, Shag. Set bones fused. Alright, so now I need to go waitable. Set bones fused. Next, we're going to have player controller part merged. What do you mean no issues found? Part merged is next. Part merged. Is there an A in there? No, it's just ERGED. Next up is Heart Ricochet Complete. Is it like Ricochet? I think that's how you spell it. I am right. The Heart Ricochet Complete. Troll Complete. Return to HQ. Next up is Try Dash. There we go. Next up is Dash Complete and Can Dash. And Can Dash. There we go. So now what we need to do is set all these to the right thing. So case player respawn. There we go. Also, we can go all the way back up here and start from the beginning with all of these. So Can Dash. Then is this Try Dash. This is Try Dash. Close. Autocomplete. But no cigar. Next error is right here. Heart Ricochet Complete. Chooses the wrong one. It's always going to choose Can Dash now. Heart Ricochet Complete. End weight, pull bones end. Okay, so end weight also needs to be changed. No, it doesn't. Wait, what? How is it smart now? How does it know? How is it taking a weight event as the key? Oh, wait, no, that's end weight. Okay, that explains it. So dash complete. So it's going to be pull bones end. Oh, I actually do need to start over so I can get this, because I don't want to type in waitable weight event pull bones end. Player respawn. This is gonna be heart merged. This is gonna be pull bones. Pull bones. Pull bones end. But this is actually pull bones end. Set bones fused. It's nice not having all that orange around for all the strings. This is a lot cleaner and a lot nicer. Next up we have heart merged. Heart ricochet complete. This is going to be heart merged. Try dash. Try dash. The heart ricochet complete. Pretty sure that was that with that. That is what that was. Yeah, heart ricochet complete. There we go. It's gonna be pull bones end. We have dash complete. Only 3 more errors to fix. Down here we have dash complete. And then we have can dash down here. There we go. That's nice. So next up, we can say this. On player die, we go ahead and immediately try to respawn. However, we also need to go ahead and we need to do some other stuff as well. Obviously, I could just wait until I respawn, but that would be dumb and bad. Also, else if or else. So if the time till respawn is not 0, we're going to do some animation. Do some animation. And then we're going to, we're also going to set the wait timer. So we're going to say tween dot wait to execute. Yep. And we're going to pass in waitable, which is going to be this. And then we're going to say wait entry, wait event key. And that's going to be respawn. Or waitable.waitEvent.respawn. Player respawn. And then the time to wait is going to be time till respawn. Now we do need to do some stuff before this, such as the bone exploding. So what this does is it sets all these to null, it goes ahead and gets all their states and sets their states to free, which it, as they should. Then it goes ahead and does transform that parent. Does that. So this just goes ahead and makes the explosion. So we can go ahead and take all of this and put this right before. So in player die, we're going to go here, do this. Then here in player respawn, we're going to say oh wait. This should also happen here. Actually, do you even need this? Like, the reason this existed before was so that way the heart... Actually, yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. Between position, does all that. Player collider enabled. So some of this actually needs to be turned off. Player rigid body, player velocity, player state equals dead. All of this needs to be done before. This also needs to be set to respawn, so it's not wrong. There we go. So now in player die, before we do the for each statement, we're just going to do that. Now, the only thing that player respawn does is it just says, okay, you're going to start tweening the position, and then you're going to wait to execute your heart merged, and you're going to wait to execute the pull bones. Now, for all intents and purposes, this should not change how self-destructing works. This should only change how dying to spikes works. So now that they actually should. Kind of. Looks good to me. I still don't get why there's those node operations or what they are. Dang, what the hell was that? Also, that's some crazy momentum you can get. I was thinking you could do that, and it's kind of an exploit, but if you go ahead and wall jump at the same time you do a thing, a ricochet, you can get some wacky momentum. Okay, that's a little weird. For some reason, it's like... Also, obviously, that's a lot of momentum right there. But it was bugging out. Where I was like... What the hell? Gonna be honest, don't know how that's happening. That is a bug. That is kind of crazy, though. What I don't get is, how is he up there? Why is he flying? So why is it delaying this? I don't think I base it off of time. It's just flying over there. Why? I wonder if you can infinitely fly with this. You probably can. Maybe. You start falling really fast. But if you go ahead and do like up, bam, bam. Up, bam, bam, bam. I feel like you can infinitely fly with this. Who knows? But yeah, this is a really weird thing. That looked very weird. So is it just distance? Yeah, it is. Okay. I thought it was something else. I thought it was because I was getting away from it too fast. But I guess it's just distance. Now if I'm close, it works. But if I'm far away, not so much. So how is this happening? Well, when you play or die, it sets you to dead. It goes ahead, does all this stuff. And then it either does the respawn or does this. Also, if I die now, I should actually have this. Actually, dying on a spike should be normal now. Where you explode for a second, and then it goes ahead and combines again. Yeah, that's basically how it should look. So you go ahead and explode everywhere, and then bam, it all recombines. You finished? Nice. I'll check it out after the stream, probably. Or you can go ahead and post it into Discord. I have a link to it in my About page. This is a creative process. Like school jumps is supposed to happen. What English? A skull jumps is supposed to happen. Jump scare, okay. But yeah, this is weird. I really do not understand why that is happening. Maybe just like the dash speed is off or something? I don't know. Wait. So when I go ahead and ricochet, it should put me in a dashing, or when I dash, it should put me in a dashing state, right? So I'm dashing, and it says if I hit collider ground. Player state is ricochet. And then the player rigid body velocity is 0. Execute. Dash time is stops execution. This right here. Tween.stop execution. Stop execution, waitable, and then it's a string key. Why is it a string key? I don't know. Shouldn't be a string key, it should be a waitable. Oh wait, it still says string. I can actually bring back string, and then I just need to change it back to key. I need to change string to waitable, not the variable name. So waitable dot wait event key. Yeah, if waiting objects and waiting objects, if waiting objects waitable equals key remove. There we go. That explains the issue. Oh, and now I have an error here, which makes sense. This needs to go to dash complete. Let's see, does it guess correctly? It actually does. I'm surprised. I thought there was no shot it would actually recognize it. You don't have Discord? Dang. Here, I'll look at it right now, then why not? It's not like there's that many people on stream right now. Should be able to go to your channel, Skeletower Stream 5. Then I go ahead and click on your profile. Go to channel. Here we go. And community. Skunky. The Owo face. It's a little weird that it's not pixel art. Also, if you think that's an Owo face, I finally added another channel member badge because we have enough people. I didn't realize we did, but I added this wonderful abomination back from Bowser's Fury. It's the Calico-O. I hate it. Easily one of my worst decisions. There are good ideas and bad ideas. I'm full of bad ideas. Alright, let's see how this works now. There we go. Now the ricochets are working. Man, you can really launch yourself. Like, I feel like this game is really fun if you're going to try to speedrun it. If there's a game to speedrun, it will be this one. Like, look at that movement tech. That is a momentum launch. Now, you could argue that that's a bug and I should remove it, but that's dumb. Like, this is hilarious, being able to yeet yourself at a quadrillion miles per hour. Daisy Cat. Yeah, it's from Bowser's Fury. It's the cat that everyone was rumoring was going to be, look, it's Daisy's a playable character. Yeah, so the reason I made that, the Calico, is back for Bowser's Fury with always wearing a propeller box when I was making all the extra shines, when I was doing all the post-game shines. When I was making the episode of The Games Must Go On in particular, I decided to put a little symbol for each, I decided to draw up in GIMP a little symbol for each section. So I had one for easy shine, distance shine, etc., etc. And one of those were the little cat shines. So I decided to make the cat head. And I made a normal one, of course. But I also came up with a great idea while I was making it. Wouldn't it be hilarious if I put the Owo face on it? Haha. And then I did. This is why I'm wanted in 20 countries. I have made something that no one else should make. That no one should make. You think you make bad decisions? Just wait till you see me. Also, yeah, this is working now, so that's cool. Obviously, there's no animation yet, but that'll come later. just explode. All your bones go everywhere. You're gonna make a funny? Good. Do it. Make a funny. Be a bit silly, in fact. Also, I like that. I like being able to bounce off of the other player's head, because you can do shit like this. Oh, you want to dash up there? You don't need to. You can just bounce the other player and then wall jump your way up. Honestly, I might make a level where you can't actually merge and whatnot. That might be interesting. And in that case, you could actually require that you have head bounces. Also, of course, you can just constantly bounce the other player on your head, but that's besides the point. I will say the movement feels pretty smooth. It's still a little hard to hit diagonals, but it's not terrible. I like the extra little, extra frame that I give you to do it. Gosh, the bones are flying like crazy. I will say also the outlines are definitely helping me see the characters. Even from far away, it's just so nice being able to see them. So what's up next? So now the hazards actually kind of work. Ah, yes, I guess that should be next. We're going to make a gravestone. Should I make a gravestone model, or should I just make it as a cube for now? First of all, I'm going to save, because I added something in a scene. I don't know what I edited, but I did. Spike. We'll call this Spike test. You're gonna cancel the funny and make the furry instead? Bruh, no. Cringe. Much smaller Spike. You stub your toe and die. I think I'm actually going to increase the size a little bit. I don't want it to be that small. Stunky is not cringe. That depends. We'll see. Alright, I think I'm going to start off with... Actually... I might be able to do this. Assets. So we're going to have hazards here. I can move stuff. Can I? I'm going to try moving something. I'm going to try moving this out of... Oh, I can just do this. I'm stupid. I'm going to go ahead and create a folder. I'm going to call this renderers. Now I can just store this stuff in here. There we go. Get it out of my sight. Can I delete this? I want to delete this because I don't think it's actually doing anything. I'm going to try deleting it. That's visual scripting. I don't care about visual scripting. Please don't crash. That would be very not okie dokie. I'm sure it's just loading. Okay, yeah. It's good. It just has to recompile because I did I moved a bunch of stuff in the file system. Also, that's pretty cool. Man, you can really get some speed off of that. Like, this is what happens when you ricochet normally. Like, that's some decent distance. But then if this is the distance you get from wall jumping. Not very much. But you do it at the same time. Because they're both explosion forces, they both have to normally overcome friction to start moving through air. But because now you're, actually yeeting yourself, one is overcoming that friction, the other one just completely dominates. Yo, welcome to the stream, Lore Mixer. Glad you can make it. Thanks for joining us. German homework. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? Fun fact, that's the only thing I know how to say in German. Do you speak German in German? That is the only thing I know how to say besides like ja and nein, but do those really count? So I just constantly, whenever someone says they speak German, that's what I say. I just say, "Do you speak German? Do you?" And it's like, "Oh, you speak German too?" And I'm like, "Nope." I fool them all. But yeah, glad you could join us. Currently, I'm working on making a game, and this game is a 2-player or a game where you control 2 skeletons, and you can merge them together like that, and then you can go ahead and separate them with a dash. This allows you to, like, scale walls. So, like, here you can wall jump off, and then you can dash up in order to make it over the wall. They count. I kind of want to learn German. Obviously, I don't have the time for it, though. But who knows? If I ever learn another language. Like, when I was in high school, I learned Spanish, but I've forgotten most of it. But if I were to ever go for another language, it would probably be German. I guess I do know a couple of other things like Guten Morgen, Achten, or good morning, good night. So I know a couple of things, but overall pretty limited. Anyway, so next thing I'm going to make. Let's make the tombstone. The reason I was moving folders around was so that way I can make a new folder. And this is going to be called for objects. I'm going to call this gimmicks. I don't think there's a C in there, so I'm just going to call it gimmicks. Actually, I think I spelled it wrong. Might just be a C. No, there was a K. And a C. I'm just dumb. Okay, there we go. So gimmicks. I'm not sure if this really belongs in here, but sure. I'm going to make a tombstone. And for a tombstone, I'm actually going to take one that I actually already made. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and try to find a tombstone. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this back to away so I can open up File Explorer. Oh, it actually let me open up File Explorer normally. So let's go ahead and set that back to programming. Since this opened up in the right place. We're going to go to Unity or YouTube, actually Documents, and then we're going to go to Blender. Where is it? Here it is, Blender Assets. We're going to open up Blender Assets. There we go. I think I have it here. I could be wrong. It might just be in one of my thumbnails. It looks like it is only in one of my thumbnails. Dang. That is unfortunate. But it's okay. In that case, we're going to go back out here. We're going to go to Plants vs. Zombies. So for one of my thumbnails that I made a while ago, I made a tombstone. This was for Plants vs. Zombies, about the first 4 columns. Thumbnail 2. I can delete this. Please load. Looking at this game gives me a dumb idea for a gimmick. If a dash is considered invincible by the game, it is not. You make paths where you have to dash semi-repeatedly, Celeste style. I am going to have something similar. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make one power-up be a red bone. I might change it slightly in design, but I'm basically going to make it a red bone. And when you collect that bone, the next time you dash, you just create a dummy skeleton, a dummy red skeleton, that then you're still swirling around. So then you can dash a second time. And when your dash succeeds, it actually destroys your dummy skeleton. However, it doesn't destroy the dummy skeleton if you ricochet. So you can like bounce it around if you want. But for the most part, you're just going to use it to double dash. So that is an idea that I have. Anyway, so these are the thumbnails. What I'm going to be looking for right now is in here. If I go here to collection, night, grave, here we go. Let's turn off roof assets. Turn on night assets. Why is there a cylinder of fire? I don't know. Not important. Anyway, so we do want this grave. We're going to take this grave as well, and this grave. Why not? And then we're going to file, new, general. We're not going to save here. Cool. And now we're going to go ahead and delete everything here. Huh. I could make all the graves in one blend file and then just have it choose randomly. Also, the materials should transfer over. But yeah, all these graves are my own custom design. I made them for that thumbnail, so I can reuse them here. The skeletons are taken apart. Skeleton bridge creation. I actually had a similar idea originally when I was going to, where I had an idea for a power-up that would turn you into essentially a bounce pad, where your rib cage is bouncy, and then you have like your feet on the walls, climbing your way up. If I go ahead and go over here to paint, I can sort of show what I mean. Essentially, if you'd have a tower like this, you'd have a level, and you may have, you know, saw blades here, bam. You got saw blades here, you got spikes on the walls, whatever. But you have, essentially, your skeleton would deform, and it would have its feet on the walls, like this, or maybe some of its hands as well. So it has its hands on the walls. And then you just have this huge bridge that's, or this unsafe contraption, essentially. You have the rib cage in the middle, which is actually safe. So you have this rib cage in the middle. Then it goes ahead and connects to the other side. You know, you got a hand on this side with a foot as well. You know, you just completely destruct the skeleton. But you have the rib cage in the middle, and you're able to move the rib cage with your other skeleton's controls. So you're able to control it, and you essentially have to bounce your way back up. So your other skeleton's, you know, platforming here. So your other skeleton's trying to bounce, and it has to stay alive, dodging all the obstacles, while also always landing on the bounce pad. If it ever falls down, it'll actually fall through these bones and fall into a pit and die. And obviously that's a reset. I might use it in the future. I'm not discounting the idea, but who knows? It might be a little bit too gimmicky. You know, I don't want this to take over a level where you're now controlling it. But who knows? It might be a little secret stage. No, I like the text dumps. They're good. Also, this model looks weird. Now that I have more Blender knowledge, I should actually be able to fix it. So why does this look weird? First of all, what are faces? Face orientation is actually correct. Also, this rip is very gross in how many polys it has. Ugh. Alright, if it's not face orientation, I do have a good idea on what it could be. My guess is its V's are not beveled. Let me try beveling these, and that should fix it. That's actually not it. I do know what the idea is now. It's this. It's this face. If I triangulate it, it looks a whole lot better. This one huge end gone is just really hard for it to visualize. Now, one thing that I can actually do to make it a little bit more visually impactful is to add some shadow to it. I can actually go like this, grab these, and move them in. Make the crack sort of crack in on itself. If I look at it in rendered view, right, there's no lights. I don't really like it this way though. Never mind. What are you doing this late? Working. Also, welcome to stream, Caden. Glad you can make it. Thank you for joining us. Currently, I'm working on making the graves, which are going to be the respawn points in the game. But yeah, I'm working on Skeletower. As you can see, I have been working on hazards so far, and we've made a decent amount of progress. As you can see, we can now break apart. There's all the animations for procedural stuff is in. We also have outlines as I updated the rendering engine. And hazards go ahead and make you explode, and then you go ahead and respawn after a short period. You can do some cool tech like this, where if you wall jump or if you go ahead and ricochet, which you can do by essentially dashing into a wall. If you do that at the same frame as a wall jump, you can get a lot of speed. Also, I did that the wrong way. That's why that broke. So I go ahead and there we go. A lot of speed. Too much speed. Yeah, lots of cool stuff. No staring at these complex Blender files and operations. I have made a single low poly person once in my 2 years of learning Blender. Believe me, making a low poly person is hard. Like, look at these skeletons. These took a long time to make. And it's only because I spent probably a couple of years just learning how Blender works in 3D modeling. Want to see the original Tethered versions? Because originally this game was supposed to be called Tethered until I realized how many problems that game had. There was problems with the story, problems with the motives, problems with the mechanics. And that's why I changed it into Skeletower because it works a lot better. But Tethered, I actually did make some humans or harpies that I was going, or the base model for the harpies that I was going to use as a player model. Obviously, not very complete, but I can show you it. I can show you this monstrosity. Are the end start of levels going to be coffins? I'm thinking about making it an elevator. At the end of every level, you get this area that will be a rest area that'll have an elevator in it where you can transition between floors. I will be using coffins in the very first level, though, as a way to introduce the dash. I posted it in my Discord, but essentially, when you hop in a coffin, it's going to transport you somewhere and then spit you out in the coffin. As the coffin like spins around, you can then bust out of it in your own dash. Because you're going to start off in level 0 without the second player, so you won't be able to do dashes. However, these coffins will sort of introduce the dash mechanic without forcing you to deal with 2 players. Don't patch out this mass speed. I agree. I'm not patching out the speed boost because, like, for one, you're never going to accidentally activate that. Not really. So if you're doing it on purpose, it's just fun. It can make you go really fast, which in my opinion is just cool. Anyway, let me show you this monstrosity. Let me show you the original Tethered models. These were the player models that I made for the original version of Skeletower. I don't remember how long ago, but it wasn't recent. These were the player models. And you can see how bad the physics are. You can tether like that. But yeah, that's the player model. You can see how slow you are. But Tever actually works, which is pretty cool. But, like, you can tell, compare this to Skeletower, you can tell how much better Skeletower is. Yeah, and you can even just stand on the other player. You don't even bounce off. Skill issue much. Yeah, that's the player model that I originally made. Needless to say, don't beat yourself up. Making humans is hard. You just finished a pixelated version of Stunky. Nice. Alright, so anyway, next up, let's fix these graves. What we're going to do is we're going to, first of all, let's go ahead and reset all of their positions. Alright, set this to 0. We're going to move this over by 2. Or move that back, actually. Pretty sure I actually want to rotate this by 90 on here. So we're going to rotate it by 90 on the Z. That is the location, not the rotation. Is there a front and a back to this? I don't think so. I could probably use that Tever flight mechanic for a game. I mean, the original game plan for Tevered was going to be using that mod, was going to be using a rope. So it was originally going to be climbing a mountain. And you have two mountain climbers, they're climbing together, and they have, because they're harpies, they can fly. But because of the winds on the mountain, whenever they fly, they have to tether themselves to the other player. So that way they don't get blown away, you know? The main problem with that is, for one, the tether mechanic, I was making it to be like the bubble mechanic from New Super Mario Bros. Wii, except you have a lot more control, where you can go through objects and stuff, but, you know, you're slower. The problem with that is speed. Going slowly in games is bad. There's a reason, you know, Celeste has a dash. Pizza Tower has a dash and a run and a grab. Well, I guess the grab is the dash, but you know what I mean. Wario Land has a dash as well as a run as well. New Super Mario Bros. And every Super Mario Bros. Has a run button. And it's because the point of a game is everything is pretty much easy. You can make challenge, but for the most part, levels are easy. However, going through them, but if you die, you have to go through them again. And now, because you died, you don't want to wait around. You want to go fast. So adding in run button adds challenge. Making the ability to go fast adds challenge, adds fun. That is the principle of Skeletower. That is one thing that I'm really trying for. Make a nose-based enemy? Okay, I'm listening. Basically the lore between a nose army. Oh, you're gonna make a nose-based army. The nose enemies are scared of her. That's honestly really creative. I like that. That's cool. That's cute. Also, yeah, I'm using geometry in this. It doesn't matter. The material wouldn't carry over anyway. All right, let's go ahead and set this to 0. Oh, this one's facing the right way. So now what we're going to do, I think I'm going to go ahead and apply all these. Control A, apply all transforms. So this is where all their positions are going to be. So Grave 1 is going to move over by, I'd say, 3. And then Grave 2 is also going to move over by 3 or 6. So it's a total of 6. 3 times 2. But Stunky never intends to stink the noses, she just hugs. Okay. So you have her be oblivious. Non-canon lore drops for the skeletons, despite me having only 15 minutes of knowledge about them. They're brothers and they don't even know each other. We just chill. No. My plan for the skeletons is the lore of the game goes like this. You are hired for a job. You don't know what the job is. It could be, you know, some science thing. Why not? But you go in to start your job, and what do you know? You just have to sign you just have to sign a contract and you're hired. So you walk up your way to the top of the tower. It's only like a flight up. You walk your way to the top of the tower and you say, "Hey, give me the job." He gives you the paper to sign, the contract that who you're going to realize is the antagonist. You sign the contract, and immediately a trapdoor opens underneath you, and you fall down back into the lobby, crash through the floor, and realize, hey, this floor is pretty weak. And then you fall through the floor down into the basement, which tends to be like the actual size of a tower. And through this, you fall through the entire tower, all the way to the, 50 miles down. Think the fall from Portal 2 long. So you're falling all the way down, and then you crash land in the dungeon. And from there, the scientist goes ahead and pops out of the elevator in the room with the dungeon. It's basically just going to be a cave in there that you crash into. So he comes down, and he basically reveals, hey, due to really annoying OSHA regulations, I'm not allowed to test my death ray on people. But the OSHA never says anything about testing my death ray on employees. So thank you for joining us. We're gonna have to demote you to corpse. So then he goes ahead and shoots you. You get turned into a skeleton because it's a death ray, and basically everything gets disintegrated off of you. All of your skin, all of your muscles, all of your blood. The only thing that remains is your bones, which go flying, and your heart, which half of it gets disintegrated away, and the other half just gets shot into the vents. From there, the main henchman of the antagonist, who I'm going to be calling, what did I call him? Kimmy, which is going to be basically a chicken knight. He's going to be just a big knight in armor. And when you actually fight him, you'll reveal that under the armor, it's just a big chicken. Anyway, so he goes ahead and pops in. He goes ahead, and one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a joke. I'm going to have the elevator open. So he's going to call out, hey, gosh, I can't remember his name. Kimmy. He's like, hey, Kimmy, come get this corpse. And then the elevator just dings open, and then he just busts through the wall, just explosion through the wall. And then he goes ahead and runs into the cage, grabs all the bones, and then brings them out. And of course, he's going to leave through another hole in the wall because that's just funny. After that, so from there, you play as the heart as you just sort of like squelch through the vents like a slug. So you're just climbing through the vents. Eventually, you'll find your bones and a tomb. And from there, you inhabit your bones and you finally possess yourself, essentially. And that's where you get to be a skeleton. Then the first level teaches you the main physics of the game. It teaches you dashing, as you have to hop through coffins and to break through mirrors. How much is this going to cost? It's the no charge. I'm going to make this free. The main reason I'm making this game is to get my name out there. So the best thing that you can do is share this game around. I want to be known as the guy who makes good banger games. Guess what, chicken? But no! Anyway, so the first level is going to be all about introducing tutorials, introducing the physics of the game, introducing dashing through the coffins. And then the first boss at the end of the first level is going to be a mirror. The whole first level is Funhouse Funeral. So you're using these coffins to dash, and you're dashing because you have to break mirrors with dashes. Hence why you need to dash to break the mirrors. So the first boss is literally a giant funhouse mirror. And for the last phase, the funhouse mirror actually reflects you. And in that reflection, the skeleton in a reflection actually comes out of a mirror, ring style. So it pops out and starts fighting you until you actually beat the boss, in which case, then that second skeleton joins you. So it's literally a clone of yourself. And that's where you get the other half of a heart. And from there, you have to team up with that clone in order to take back the tower. Or in order to scale the tower. Until you can finally reach the end where you go ahead and kick the ass of the guy who went ahead and disintegrated you. You should put in, guess what, chicken butt? Well, the joke that I'm thinking of is way funnier than that. Yay, I get to be disintegrated for free. Welcome to the stream, Oswald, the Lucky Rabbit. Glad you can make it. Thank you for joining us. Currently, I'm making graves. So one thing I want to do is I want to change this. I don't like this material. I'm tempted to just throw away this rip. This is just way too high poly, honestly. Like, this is very high poly. How many vertices are there? Obviously, the eye isn't very big, but, like, god damn. Geometry data? No. There's got to be some way that I can do that. I mean, there has to be some way that I can go ahead and remesh it, essentially. What about a remesh modifier? That's voxel. Maybe a multi-resolution texture? What if I apply it? No. I don't think that actually did that. Alright, whatever. Honestly, most of this isn't actually that bad. It's just these letters. Honestly, what I might be able to do is this. I might just be able to merge, like, every two of these I just merge at center. I merged 3 of them, right? No, I merged 2. Let's merge 3. Three vertices, or 3 vertices. Merge at center. 3, merge at center. This should save on some performance, thankfully. I think I can take this down to 2 now. Merge that at center. Now we're going to go ahead and start merging some of these. Merge this. That's a little too much. Merge at center. Merge at center. I will say this will at least look a lot better. Or it won't look a lot better, it'll just be a lot more performant. Oh, like, gosh, there's so many vertices. There doesn't need to be this many. Like, what is the purpose of all of these vertices? Also, I'm gonna individually select them so I don't accidentally, like, grab a vertice from behind. That would be bad. I know the way that I made this is probably by actually taking a text object and then, you know, turning that into a mesh. But gosh darn. So this looks really weird. This topology is really bad. Like, look at this. That's disgusting. I'm gonna delete this. I don't like this. This is just terrible topology. It's just disgusting. This is at least a little better. If I go ahead and fill that in. It's not great, but it's at least a little better. That's not great either. It's at least a little better. You know what? No, I'm gonna delete this again. Faces. I'm gonna do it like this. We can do this. Fill. That is not right. I wanted to take you, and then you. Fill that. Then fill this. And then fill this. There we go. That looks a lot better. That's what I was going for. So next up, we're going to go ahead and do this. Select all this. Select there. Now if I hit Control plus, that should give me everything that isn't that. It does. So now I can delete faces. Free, Control L. E, extrude back. There we go. Significantly better. Now we have to do the P as well, but not bad. You're gonna make the nose, the schnoz. Alright, so now what do I need to do? First of all, faces. Is this face correct? No, it is not. It is, in fact, the wrong way. Face, normal. Where's normal, 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 normal? Where's normal? I would like normal. Where would normal be? I would like normal mesh. Normals, here we go. Flip. So now let's fix the P. Gosh, it's disgusting. The merge VAD at center. I'd prefer actually to do this. Merge VAD at center. Do an X free, merge at center. Merge. We can also do these. Free, merge. Remember, this isn't going to be seen except for very far away. This is more than fine. Yeah, I think I'm just going to redo the faces, so this will be fine as well. Merge. Merge. So while that does have an error, we can fix that in just a moment. Ba, 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 ba. Baby Park. Great music track. It definitely is a vibe. Done? Nice. Alright, I'm going to delete all these faces. They are disgusting. This topology is gross. Didn't think I'd have to say that about topology, but damn, that is just, like, this is just disgusting topology. I can't bear to look at it. Like, look at how much nicer this topology is. Look at it. Look at how beautiful this topology is. I think I'm going to go like this. This isn't perfect topology. I'm not really putting in a lot of effort into making it absolutely beautiful, but like compared to the topology that it was before I did this, like way better. Destroy that edge. Not sure how that was there. What the hell is this edge? Why is there just a random edge here? I don't know. The nose is an ice type. I don't think that's right. I feel like the nose should not be an ice type. And the reason I say that is because, like, wouldn't that mean the nose has a cold? I guess that could be the joke. Make it like the sniffling thwomps from Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story. Could be interesting. I can do this. I don't really want to have quads. It should be okay. It should be okay to have a quad here. It's not like it's an egregious quad. But I accidentally said poison is effective against ice. I mean, that shouldn't be that hard of a fix. You know, I only ever had the Wii U Mario Kart 8. So I missed out on Cheese Land. I thought that was probably one of the best looking courses in Mario Kart 8 in the DLC. So I'm kind of sad I missed out on it. Sad enough that I would spend $60 on a remake, on a deluxe? No. Yeah, I'm not going to buy Mario Kart 8 again. Buying it once was enough. Anyway, so that's the graves. Save. I can put this in player, non-player, but in gimmicks. But does gimmick have 1 or 2 M's? Okay, it does have 2 M's. Alright, so we're going to save this here. And we're going to call this Graves. There we go. I'm actually going to move this back to its original position. And then I'm only going to show one of them. One thing I'm actually going to do is this as well. I'm actually going to give this a separate material. Control L. Material. We're going to increase this, add a new one. We're going to call this Grave Writing. Actually, I'll just call it RIP. And we're going to go ahead and make this a black. Assign it. Looks okay. Too shiny though. So we're going to turn down to specular. We're going to increase the roughness. You remade the nose to water. Let's see it. I have to reopen my stream in a separate tab. What? Why can't I not select your name? Can I select your name now? Oh, I have to click on the ellipsis on the side. Go to channel. Community. Also good pixel art. Alright, there we go. Anyway, so save that. Now we can go into Unity. And now we have this in gimmicks. Now if I put a grave in, as you can see, it has 3 different children. The grave itself doesn't actually have anything. I guess it should be a little bit smaller, if I'm going to be honest. Also, we're facing the wrong direction. Easily fixable. First of all, we're going to go ahead and grab everything. All, rotate, Z, 180. Control A, rotation. Then we're going to go ahead and scale everything down a little bit. Control A, scale. Save. And now, we go ahead and put in a grave. As you can see, looks great. Except for the P, which is inverted because I forgot to do that. Whoopsie. Mesh, normals, recalculate outside. There we go. So graves, what we're going to do is we're going to make a grave create a game object called grave. This is going to be a prefab. We're going to set its position to 0, 0, 0. So grave, I have to make a grave script. So the reason I have all free graves here, the reason I took all of them, is so that way I can do this in my start. Although, actually, before I do that, I'm going to check something. I just want to check the night levels in Plants vs. Zombies to make sure I actually did. Like, obviously, I modeled them, the graves myself. I just want to make sure I wasn't riffing off of any previous designs. Plants versus Zombies night. Actually, I should be able to do it like this. Plants versus Zombies grave stone. Sure, there's a thing documenting all of them. This one's kind of similar to one of the graves, but it doesn't have a base. It also, the cross is shrunk a little bit. There's no graves that say RIP. There's also none that have this sort of flat base. Yeah, the only one that's actually kind of similar to an actual grave is in PvZ is this one. But I mean, like, I don't think you can consider this to be the exact same grave. It does have some differences. It's also not like I can... Yeah, I don't think you could say that I ripped the asset, because I didn't. Alright. Just want to make sure I'm not doing any copyright infringement. They're called snotties. Just like Pizza Tower. Alright, so here we go. If I go ahead and look at the scale, yeah, scale is that. Anyway, grave. So what I'm going to do is at start, I'm going to choose one of 3 random graves. So I'm going to say serialized field, private, static, or no, not static, private, game object, graves. So first thing it's going to do is it's going to grab one of the grave's childs. So it's going to say something like let's try just instantiating graves first. I'm going to put that in a variable. I'm going to say game object grave choice. Instantiate graves. So grave, I'm going to do that. What? Cannot add script to component grave because the script class cannot be found. The hell you mean cannot be found? It's right here. Oh wait. Cannot add Script component grave because the script class cannot be found. What? Class name is grave. Class name is grave. The hell you mean? Can't be found. Yeah, it sees it. Make sure there's no compile errors. Console, no errors. Let's try hitting play and... Okay, you good? You gonna stop being dumb now? Oh, it is. Okay, I wasn't surprised. I wasn't expecting that. There we go. Also, we're going to, in here, we're going to set its icon to let's go ahead and take a picture of one of these graves, I guess. No, I'm not going to do that much work for a grave icon. Not yet, at least. We can do that later. Gosh, it's so tiny. I don't want it to be so small. Like, look at how tiny this is. Also, this should be 0, 0, 0. Why is it not 0, 0, 0? You're gonna post some lore about the relationship? Go for it. There's all these default textures. I'll just leave it like this for now. Oh wait, Y is up. Whoops. So I put that there. It should go ahead and instantiate it. Oh, and it's probably instantiating it at 0, 0, isn't it? Yeah. So all those positions are 0 and all those positions are 0, so I should have to change its positions to that. The way I can do that is just by saying grave. Now transform.parent equals transform. That's correct. And I'm going to say grave.transform is bat. Wow, it actually knew exactly what I wanted. That's actually kind of scary. That is exactly what I wanted to do, because I want to basically have it reset its position to me. Wow, that is actually basically perfect. Good job, program. Good job, Visual Studio. You actually figured it out. You guessed correctly. I gotta give it credit. That's exactly what I wanted, basically. So we're gonna put that in the ground. There we go. So now it'll go ahead and actually put the graves in the right spot. Only thing is the graves are a little bit too big. Honestly, like, obviously in the actual game, I'm going to make the floor have more depth, so honestly, it might be fine. So yeah. Anyway, next up. First, instead of instantiating graves, I'm going to make a random grave. So I'm going to say grave. I'm going to say game object dot. Or actually, I'm just going to roll the dice. Int grave, not identity, not in, no, it is index. I actually guessed it right. I was about to say not some other word, and then I accidentally said index, and index is the word that I was trying to say. So yeah, that's actually correct. Grave index equals graves or random dot range, and then I have to pass in a minimum inclusive. This is going to be going from 0 to graves dot child dot child count. Oh wait, dot transform dot child count. There we go. So if I have free children, it should go from 0 to 2. And this should give me an int back. It does. Wait, no. Now it's min inclusive and max exclusive. Okay, so now it should be free. So here we go. So now what we're going to do is instantiate graves.transform.getChild at grave index. And then I need to get the game object. There we go. And now it'll give me a random grave whenever I click on it. Or whenever I generate the scene, it should give me a random grave. So this time I got the rip grave. If I go ahead and play it again, now I might get a different grave. This will just add some randomness to the game. Alright, I got the rip grave again. Okay. Please give me a different grave, just so I can make sure this is actually working. Yeah, there we go. And now I got the last type of grave, which is this one. This wide base could be a little bit of a problem, but honestly it should be fine. Also, I still have all these. So I have this material, which I assume is being applied to the grave. It's just called grave. Let's see what happens when I do this. Yeah. So it is using the grave material, which, because of course the grave material here is too complicated, it's not actually going to work. Now, of course, this begs the question, how do we make it have a material? For now, let's just give it a solid color. Obviously, we can change this later, but this will work for now. Assertion failed on something. I don't care. Just work instead. Yeah, that works. Alright, but we do want to actually add some distance on the Z. So we're going to make a private, static, void. No, not void. Float, dist back, or distance back. So plus vector free dot forward times distance back. So let's go ahead and set this to, I don't know, 10 for now. Well, actually, I can just make this a serialized thing. Get a good value. I don't have to do everything procedurally. I can just test some random values for this, especially since this is less important than the actual player. This is just how far back a player Visping is. The grave. Distance back. Let's set this to, I don't know. Let's try 10. Battle's probably way too far back, but we'll see. Yeah, that's way too far back. How far back do I want it? About 1 point. How does 1 look? Let's just try 1 for now. So we'll just say this is 1. Private, float, static, float, distance back equals 1.0f. There, pi. No, I think pi would be too far back as well. I was wondering, I've completely forgot what OST I was listening to. I was like, wait, that's Mario music. No way, it's Mario music in the Mario game? I feel dumb. Maybe it is because it is 1:14 in the morning. Nah, it can't be that. Anyway, the reason we're making this in the first place is so we can go ahead and essentially make a respawn point. But yeah, now you can run in front of a grave and it works. I think it should be a little bit farther back than 1. Maybe 1.5. I think that should be plenty. Now, of course, we are moving the grave, not the... Yeah, we're moving the grave and not the actual, like, object position. And that's because the actual object position is going to have a trigger associated with it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say, I want to make a public, or let's make an on trigger enter 2D. And by doing that, I want to just say debug foo.log foo. Cool. And the reason I'm going to do that is now in my thing here, in my game, whenever you collide with a checkpoint, it should go ahead and do something. We need to move this up a little bit. 1, 2, 2. Obviously, the checkpoint collider can be a little bit larger than the actual checkpoint. That's fine. So I should see Foo here. Oh, I didn't make it a thing. This does at least give me a good estimation of how large the checkpoint is, though. And that's pretty accurate. So I'm pretty happy with that. Alright. So now what I can do is here on this, I turn that into a trigger. And just like that, now we can go through it. However, it'll tell us, hey, you touched this thing. Foo, hooray, foo, foo, hardy, har, har. Isn't that great? Alright. Alright, and what we do now is we can say, any ideas for the lore of your game? Not particularly. I feel like the best thing that you could do is make it a misunderstanding. You know, Stunky doesn't really want to be, you know, killing all the nose people, but she is. Chapter 5 of Super Paper Mario. I think it's Chapter 5. So you use that as some inspiration. No, any ideas for enemies or units? I mean, you already made the element. I'm not sure what would mesh well with that. Maybe just more animals. But then again, I feel like you could run into the trap of just, you know, making it very similar to Balloon's tower defense. Alternatively, you could make more enemies, like mouths and stuff. You could make it so there are more parts of the body. And they have to fight other animals or something. I don't know. Yeah, Chapter 5 is a caveman one, where the Crag people were polluting the water, killing the kings. I think a story like that could work for lore. Anyway, so debug.log foo, that works. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to use we need to go to our general. If we go to general scripts, we have tween, vector, math, and waitable. Do we have a game manager? We do have a game manager. Also save. So we're going to add a C# script called... oh, wait, no, we don't need it. We actually don't need this. New behavior script, delete that. Delete that. Alright. We actually don't need what I was thinking we needed. We actually don't need it because we can just include this as a static variable here. Alright, so here what we're going to do is, up here we're going to say serialized field private, or no, not serialized field, what am I saying? Public static grave, or we're going to call this, which string should I pass in? Probably this. Okay. See, I'm going to actually pass in a grave. And we're going to call this active grave. No, I'm going to pass in a game object. So game object, we're going to call this current grave. I was thinking if I should call it checkpoint or not. trying to befriend the less severe ones. The weaker ones try to fight against them. Okay. That could be interesting. So public static game object current grave. So we are currently looking at a current grave. And we'll set that to null to start. Now, one interesting thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make it so all of the scenes, there's only going to be one game scene in this game. Maybe a title screen and an end screen or something, or a credit scene or something like that. But for the most part, everything is going to take place in one scene, so I can load rooms simultaneously. So there should always be a currently active grave selected. So what I'm going to do here, though, is if current grave equals null, current grave equals get component game object. I can just say game object. Equals game object. There we go. We're going to go ahead and put a grave down here as well. So now, this should change to be currently active grave. So if I did that, and then I was able to die, anyway. So that should do that. So now what I can do is player controller collider game object equals this game object. Wait, what am I doing? I'm going to where I die. So if player die, state dead, rigid body, do all this, explode. And then I should do this. First of all, when I go ahead and self-destruct, do I check that the other player is alive? I should. I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah, otherwise I would have had a lot of other problems. So yeah, get over player controller dot player state equals state dot normal. Player die. So yeah, the other player has to be state dot normal for you to be able to do it. Obviously, I'll need to change that later because it can be other states like jumping and whatnot. What states are there, actually? Is jump one of them? No, you have normal, dead, fuse, dashing, ricochet. But I'll also have states later like being flinged, that'll be a state. Having milk, that'll be a state. Because yes, there's going to be a milk power-up, so I'll have to keep that in mind. I could probably make a matrix of states. I don't know. We'll see. Or I could make a dictionary like what I did before for the enums. That could work. a dictionary that pairs whether you can respawn. Anyway, so when you die, so that sets player state to dead, does all this stuff, and then it says if time till respawn is less than 0. So what I want to do now is this. If time dot no. So yeah, I should be able to do this. Else if, so I'm going to make an if statement here. If true, then you're going to fully respawn. So I want this to be if other player I thought I had a constant reference to the other player. Maybe not. You're gonna sleep? Alright, have a good one, Travis. Have a good sleep. Do I even need bone material 1 and 2 here anymore? Do I ever use them? Oh, I have an error. Oh. If this. I could have sworn I had an other player, though. Do I really not have one? If is player 1, player state, current ground, ground normal, direction, dash direction, can dash, gravity direction, gravity, slope speed multiplier, player rigid body, player collider, player animator, bones. I think I can delete this bone material 1 and bone material 2. Because I should be doing that there. If, so yeah, if get over player controller. I think I actually want to say dot controller dot get state. Dot player state. So if player state equals alive or normal, so player state. I probably just call it state, and that's why I can't find it. Yeah. So equals state dot normal. So if the player state is not equal to normal, So if a state is not normal, then what do I need to do? Wait, why is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe playing Woohoo Loop? That wasn't in Mario Kart 8, right? Oh. Woohoo Town. The battle mode course. That's why it's playing it. Alright, so if get ever player controller is normal, if it's not normal, in this case the player is dead, then we're just going to say here we can use player normal, the player def normal time or whatever. Respawn time normal. Find all references. Here, oh, this needs to be changed as well. So player die is going to be collision dot game object dot get component hazard info dot get time to die hazard info I actually have to start with this hazard info. Hazard info dot what's it called? Hazard dictionary or something? Hazard def time. Get value or default. Then we're going to use dot get type, get hazard type. There we go. Pretty long line, but it makes sense. So now what we can do, we freed up this, which is the normal def time. Now we can use that here. So in player die, we just say end wait, or not end wait, tween dot wait to execute. So we say wait to execute, and then we need to put in a waitable, which is going to be this. This, and then the wait event key is going to be, we actually need to make a new one. We're going to call this, I think we need to change this from player respawn. What would I change this to? Right now I'm using it to this is when it should stop being dumb and the heart should actually start flying. So maybe pull heart would be better. So we're going to call this pull heart. Just like that. And now we're going to introduce a new one. So waitable, we're going to make a thing that says player respawn. There we go. And now in player controller, we're going to make a new one. It's going to be case player respawn. Player respawn. Break. So when you do this, you should set your position to the grave and become alive. Normally I have dash complete, which is set state to normal, set rigid body to kinematic, set the collider to enabled. And wait. And then the key I want to bring in is going to be n dash. Dash complete. There we go. So I'm also going to say transform dot position equals grave dot current grave dot transform dot position. That's why I have the current grave as well. Plus vector free dot right. And then we're going to multiply that by -1 if you are not player 1. Is player 1. If you are player 1, it's going to be 1. If not, you're going to multiply by -1. This way, both players don't spawn on top of each other. So here we're going to say tween, wait to execute this, and then we're going to say, well, player respawn. There we go. And then we need a time to wait, which is going to be time to respawn. Maybe respawn time? Yeah, respawn time normal. There we go. And just like that. Oh, also we need to say trigger this for the other player as well. So we're going to say get over player controller. Get over controller dot player state dot get over controller dot probably can say dot. I probably can make this public as well. Dot player die. Wait, time to respawn. I guess this doesn't actually matter. I'm just going to pass in 0 to it. Or -1. Because you aren't respawning normally. So time till respawn is kind of a bad word. Should be like time till heart fly. Time till pull heart. pull heart. Okay, I thought it said free files for a second. And just like that, now, if both of us die, it should be smart. Okay. So why did it do that? My guess is, I mean, if the other player is dead, they shouldn't be interacting with anything else. Oh, wait, it's an infinite loop. I see. The problem is because so player 2 dies off, he merges or whatever. So player 2 dies, so player 1 dies next. So player 1 dies, and it goes through all of this, and then it gets to here, and it says, oh, get out of controller. He dies too. This is so that way he explodes. All of his bones go flying, and it's not just a circle for one and not a circle for others. And so if you're already dead, also what I should do is this. I should cancel any other waiting things. So I should go ahead and say tween dot cancel wait. What do I call it? Dot stop tween or stop execution. And then I'm going to pass in get over controller. And then I'm going to say dot waitable oh wait dot get over controller, and then I need to say waitable pull heart, just in case he was about to start moving his heart. Now that gets canceled, and once he starts pulling his heart, if I know correctly, pull heart, it sets oh no, you're still dead. That's fine though. So I should also cancel heart merged and pull bones. that's going to be pulled bones. And heart merged. I'm trying to think about this. So, you're in a dead state for basically until you actually merge with the other player. This is a problem. I need some way of telling you that both players should die. I guess I'll have to make a separate case for if the player state is dead. Do I need to do this? I guess I need to cancel their thing, but they would be not dead. I don't know. On one hand, the player is dead, but on the other hand, they're merged. On the other hand, they're not merged. I have to consider these different cases. So, if player 1 is dead, and player 2 is not dead, or player 2 is merged, player 1 is dead, I need to set player 2 to dead, but then I need it to not set player 1 to dead. However, what happens if player 2 is in dead state? And let's say he currently... Well, now it won't run this first thing. Now it would run... Well, in that case, if player 2 is dead already, we have to have some way of canceling the loop, but I can't cancel the loop because I have to... It's an injunction problem, because if I go ahead and cancel the loop on step 2, well, what happens if step 2 happens first, and it gets called on step 1 and it doesn't cancel everything or something? It has problems. I want to fix this bug, and I'm probably going to end the stream, but I'm going to fix this bug. I want it to work. I want to be able to respawn. So what soundtrack am I going to put on before I finish? Let's put on the Mario Kart 7 soundtrack. How about that? Going from Mario Kart 8 to Mario Kart 7. Let's go. So, in the case that both players are currently in the dead state, I need some way of setting both of their... I mean, honestly... You know what? Why not? So I'm actually not going to do this. I'm not going to wait to execute the other player's respawn time normal. I'm just going to set it. I'm just going to cancel everything that they have going on currently. Can I cancel all current things? I didn't implement that, but I should be able to make it. Now there's the cheap way to do it, and there's the easy way for me to program it. I'm going to do it the cheap way to do it, the way that's better. And that's to just check if it's a game object instead. Tween. So here we have stop execution. So we're just going to make a second one. And we're just going to remove the key. So if waiting objects equals waitable, then yeah. There we go. We only have to do this once, obviously. So this basically stops any other timers that are currently running on the other controller. We should also make one of these for tween as well, because we have stop tween. We might as well make it stop tween. And this just stops all tweening. Oh, I can do that. So for each tweening object and tweening objects, I just have to remove this. So what I can do actually is this. I can say and time is normal, or time is time till full heart is greater than 0. This way it only gets triggered once. Because now it'll trigger player die again, which does all this stuff. However, it also doesn't do this. It doesn't try to trigger itself again. And it doesn't create this infinite loop. Because obviously it passes in -1 as the time. Now obviously this is running a player respawn timer. But what I can also do is I can just run the same timer for the other player as well. Tween. Dot. Wait to execute. Actually, no, I can do this here. Else if something yada yada yada. Also fix this formatting. Gross. So else if the other player controller state is not normal. Obviously I'm going to make a dictionary later, but not tonight. That's why I said later. So else if the state is normal. In that case, just tween, wait to execute, player respawn. And yeah, this should work. Hopefully, maybe. There's a good chance it'll work. Didn't work last time, but hopefully. So we touch this grave. It should be currently active. And we break apart, and bam. So something didn't work. Not sure what it was. It actually worked pretty well for the most part. It's just like, I pause here. You can see all my bones going everywhere, yada, yada, yada. Oh, this is probably the problem. This gets teleported. This gets teleported. Or more specifically, one is a parent of the other. And if you look at it, if you look at player 1, as you can see, player 1 is this player up here. Which means I think I actually got lucky here. Because this is actually a child. So what I'm assuming happened is player 1 got teleported here, and then player 0, or player 2 got teleported here first, or no, player 1 actually got teleported here first. And then player 2 got teleported. But because it's a child, it did that. So how do you fix this? Well, first of all, actually, I'm going to check this. So I go ahead and do that. I respawn. And yeah. So all I have to do is I have to make sure I don't have a parent first. And all I need to do in order to do that is just say that neither of them are a parent. So this goes ahead and so what I should be able to do is get over player. I specifically want the player. I'm going to say dot transform dot parent equal null. There we go. And that should fix it. Also, I probably want to stop all tweening. Tween dot stop tween. And I'm going to pass in get ever controller or get ever player. And just like that, now you should be able to respawn properly. You die, and bam, you're back to the grave. Go ahead and kill one player. They go ahead and explode. Bam. And you're back to where you started. Now, obviously, we can have the camera tween, but that can come at a later date. Let's go ahead and flip it. So, player 1 is red. So we're going to have player 1 walk into the spikes. And it works. Now we're going to have player 2 walk into the spikes. And it works. But here's the cool thing. If we come down here, touch this checkpoint, we can then go up here. And just like that, now we should spawn at the bottom. And as you see, we do. We have made functioning checkpoints. Let's go! It's kind of funny that this is so much more complicated simply because we have two players, which means that each player could die separately. Now, another thing I want to test is we go ahead and do that. It still has problems. That was not perfect by any means. So we go ahead and kill you, and then we do that. Yeah, it still forms a circle. I'm not sure exactly why it did that. By all accounts, it should go ahead and just explode. Like it should re-explode itself. Like that makes it re-explode. Maybe because it's already dead. No, that should still explode it because this explodes and then it does that. So yeah, that explodes and then it does that. Oh, I think it's because it's tweening the position of the bones. That's it. So you have to stop tweening of all the individual bones. Mm. I don't think I make the bone list public. Right? Bone weights. Wait. Do I use bone weights at all? Oh, I know that's in that. Yeah, of course. No, bones are private. I guess I could make it public, but there's not really a reason to. I just need to basically tell it to stop all tweening. Honestly, what I can do is just do it here in where is it? State normal. If collision. If hazard, player die. Okay, here we go. Player die. So what I can do is down here, and for each bone and bones, I can just remove the tween. I can just say, stop tween, tween, dot stop, tween, bone, dot transform, dot parent. Because the bones aren't the thing that move, it's the parents of the bones that move. Dot game object. There we go. That should fix the issue. Because now the bones aren't going to be moving willy-nilly. I know this is probably slower in terms of progress than most games, but I feel like this is actually looking decent now. So we go ahead, we do this. That still works as intended. If I walk into it, it still works as intended. All the explosions and whatnot still work as you'd expect. Ricochet works. Kind of. You walk into it, it explodes correctly. And if I go ahead and explode and then do that, it does not fix it. Why does it not fix it? That is very weird. By all accounts, that should fix it. So we're going to go ahead and press S. Mess it up. It's weird though. Why is it doing that? Why do I have this game manager? Oh, for the tweener. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and press this at the same time. So these both explode. But then these go into the heart. Why are they going into the heart? So yeah, these are still tweening into the position. They're still tweening into the ball, which is strange, right? And then they tween to the right position. So I don't think it's actually a tween. I don't. I think that's part of it, but I don't think that's it. I think it's stop execution. Because for some reason it's not actually stopping the thing. Get other player controller should be giving them the other player controller. And tween.stop execution should be doing that. I mean, I'm not doing anything of tweening here, right? Besides stopping. I stop tweening here. And then, yeah, I just am waiting. But yeah, I think it has to... Oh, wait. I know. I know what the problem is. If I go into tween, it returns the object that's stopping the tween. That's it. Return. And this does not return. It just keeps on going. Same thing with stops execution. This is void. Return. And remove this return. So it was removing one tween and wait, but it wasn't removing all of them. Now it should. Okay, so now it doesn't actually work. Because I'm modifying the waiting objects, it's not allowed to then move on to the next waiting object. So what I can do is this. I can say while... I'll make a bool. Bool foo equals true. While foo So while foo is going on, we're going to run for each. Now immediately, also this should break. So immediately what we're going to say is foo equals false. There we go. And then what we're going to say is foo equals true up here. And then we break. This causes it to break out of a for each statement, and then it goes ahead and checks the while loop, and hey, foo is true again. So then it goes ahead and says foo is false, and then if it doesn't find it, then it'll stop looking. Cool. What's a better name than foo, though? I don't know. Bar? I'll call it found waitable. There we go. And we can do the same thing for tween. Bool found object equals true. Honestly, we can set it to false, but I just have to make it a do while then. I don't like do whiles. I'm going to make it true. It doesn't really affect the outcome of this. While found object found object equals false. Found object equals true. Break. There we go. Now this should fix it. This should fix the error with it. I really don't get why it's saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, we can't find this Unicode character." Why? I don't care. I'm never using that Unicode character. What the hell is wrong with you? So we go ahead and do that. It still works. Alright. Go ahead and walk into Spike again. It works. Nice. Just the heart stops moving, which is a little unfortunate, but honestly, like, it's fine. That isn't as noticeable as all the bones still forming a circle. Besides, it's only for a second anyway. Now I think the next thing is to make the camera pan, but I think I'll do that tomorrow probably, because I'm pretty happy with this. We introduced death. Hooray! Pretty soon we're going to have to start making some actual levels, which is going to be really fun. But for now, we got checkpoints as well, which is really nice. We die, we spawn at the bottom. It's not only checkpoints, it's the fact that the checkpoints change as well. You get a random checkpoint each game, each time you reload an area, which I think is going to be a nice little touch. Anyway, I'm pretty happy with that for tonight. Let's go ahead and save everything. File save. File save all. File save. And yeah. With that, I'd like to say thank you all so much for watching.